We're about to take you on board the Cruisers Yachts 34 GLS. Now this is the entry-level model to the GLS range, but there's nothing entry-level about this boat. It's 34 foot long, 45 miles an hour with outboards or inboards, but more than that, there's loads and loads of details and features to show you. The boat we're looking at is finished in the South Beach edition, and what that gives you is that rich black paintwork and that really warm and actually quite fantastic orange upholstery. Let's take you on board. I'm Carl Richardson and you're watching YachtBuyer. We'll start looking across the cockpit of this Cruisers Yachts 34 GLS, and it is all about the cockpit, this boat, really. Now, the boat you're looking at is the South Beach edition, and what that means is black gel coat on the outside, black paintwork on the outside. There is an option for a gunmetal, like a battleship grey as well. You also get the option of having this sort of beautiful ochre orange upholstery. As standard, the boat comes in white, as you can just see over here, with the white paintwork and that sort of ivory upholstery. That's your standard colour scheme, but we're on the South Beach edition and there's lots of upgrades. So we're going to start looking around. So we have this aft sun pad, seating onto this side, seating to here. This backrest is currently in the sort of driver mode, so you're forward facing. This will come back, and then you've got a surround of seating here, but as it is, you've got 1, 2, 3 people across the helm, so that's great. You do get a hardtop as standard, but it's just a one-piece GRP hardtop. What we have here is the optional sunroof, and then towards the aft of the boat, we then have an electric awning which goes out. So there are 2 options basically for the hardtop. A real feature of this boat is how much storage there is, also how many cup holders there are, but we'll come back to that in a second. So there is storage everywhere, including a massive undersole locker down here that goes right back. Under all of the seating, we've got lined lockers, underneath the sun pad as well, and obviously because we don't have the inboards, that's what you're gaining with the outboard boat. You're gaining that much more storage. So we're going to come forward. By the way, this synthetic decking that they put down just doesn't heat up in the sun. It's amazing stuff. Even white gel coat is hotter in the sun than this stuff. It absorbs the heat and just dissipates it. So we're going to come back past the helm, these seats, and we're going to go forward into the bow section. So what we've got here is a completely separate cockpit, and you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people around here, no problem at all. There's optional tables for the cockpit and here, and they stow away, so you're not trying to find somewhere to put them. Everything has a place to live in when it's not being used. We've got storage under here, a really useful lined self-draining locker under here as well. This area is going to get wet potentially. It's completely self-draining across the cockpit. There's a nice fold down armrest here as well, but let's go back to those cup holders. Now I reckon there's about 20 on here, which is a lot, more than you need, but anyway. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 5, 6, and another dozen or so in the cockpit. So there's always going to be somewhere to put your drink, and it should always be cold because we've got ice makers and cool boxes across the boat. Before we leave, because under here we have the anchor locker that gives you access. You've got these top mounted controls here to lower and raise the anchor, and as standard, Cruiser Yachts have their own bespoke stainless steel anchor which looks pretty smart hanging off the bow. So we're at the helm of this Cruisers 34 GLS. I'm going to start with the bolster seat up in the standing position, and from here I've got excellent visibility. I can actually look over the screen, or if I just come back a little bit, I'm looking directly through the screen. I've got this great stitched leather console wrapping around, really like the Cruiser steering wheel. It's a real sports wheel. In terms of performance, this boat is very easy to get your head around. It comes with outboard engines or inboard stern drive engines, all petrol. the outboard engines are by far the most popular, particularly here in the US. So we've got a pair of Mercury 300 horsepower outboards on the back here. That's going to push this boat to around 45 miles an hour, maybe even 45 knots, so just over 45 miles an hour. The inboards are bigger. They're 350 horsepower Mercruiser or Volvo Penta, but they're still pushing the boat to 45 miles an hour. So you've got a 45 miles an hour boat, and it's a really neat way of showing that outboards, in terms of power to weight, power to blast, give you, so we're 100 horsepower down with the outboard engines, but we've got the same speed, same top speed as the inboard. So that's a nice little illustration of why people go for outboard engines. Going back to the driving position, I've got twin MFD chart plotters in front of me here. We've got these nice chunky controls here for the outboards, and regardless if you go for the inboard or the outboard option, you get joystick control, and that's going to be priceless for working around these tight marinas or in smaller waterways. That's a nice thing to have. So we can drop the seat down now. So now we're in the seated position. Now I'm sitting here in the middle, but you could easily scooch across here and there's space for another person. But if you're up here by yourself, steering wheel center, throttles are still nicely to hand, and the view forward is excellent. I'm looking right over the top of the compass. I can see right over the top of the bow down there. It's a great position. So now come inside, below decks on this Cruisers Yachts 34 GLS. This is a day boat, absolutely, but it's great to have this cabin, and it is a proper cabin. There's good headroom. We've got a little dinette area here. This table will drop to make up into a double berth, and then you've got a single berth just behind here, open to the cabin itself. Some boats of this size you would expect to find a double mattress under there. This is only a single, so you've got 3 berths, I would say. You've also got a toilet compartment, but if you are thinking about staying the night on board, you've got that headroom, you've got this feeling of space. You've also got a fridge down here. Remember, you had that barbecue grill up in the cockpit. There's a toilet compartment behind here, and importantly, if you shut off this hatch to make it more private down here, you've still got a little hull side window over to starboard, so it's going to feel cozy but not completely shut away. So you've had a good look around this new Cruisers Yachts 34 GLS. There's a lot to like, I have to say. Okay, it's a big sports boat, it's a big bowrider sports boat. There's a lot of these types of boat in the US market, in fact in the whole global yachting market, but I like this, and I particularly like this South Beach package they put together, you know, with the sunroof and the awning. I think this upholstery works really well with the black paintwork. It won't be for everyone. There's a bit more attitude going on. It's a bit more in your face, but I think it works really well. So if you're looking for something a bit different, something that's got a bit of attitude, like I say, there's loads and loads of seating options on this boat. There's loads of cup holders, as I think we pointed out, but it just works really, really well. And if you do want to spend a couple of nights on board, well, great. We've got an air-conditioned cabin below my feet. It's a good boat, and this GLS series, of which there are multiple models from Cruisers Yachts, I think is a real winner. So there we have it, the Cruisers Yachts 34 GLS. I hope you liked it. I like the boat. If you did like it, please do hit that like button, and remember to subscribe to get the latest reviews and stories from YachtBuyer.